There's a lot of research around, estrogen being metabolized by the gut microbiome or even being produced. And we know that the gut microbiome even produces testosterone. Is the gut microbiome an endocrine organ? Is it really how heavily is it involved in either metabolism or production of hormones? And I think we're just starting to touch on this and understand these pathways. We do know from a clinical perspective that when hormones drop, we see a ton of gut issues, right? Like women having really sluggish digestion. And this kind of comes first because the motility of the intestines are all regulated by hormones. The gallbladder production of bile is regulated by hormones. And as I mentioned, this GLP-1 pathways to lose weight and maintain our sense of fullness. And so we don't overeat. That's all maintained by hormones. So we see the hormones drop off, and then the digestive system and the metabolic system get disrupted from that, and even the microbiome. And then women are trying to chase it with their diets, right? Well, maybe if I just changed my diet and did this and this, then I could feel better. And I see women doing that for years. Like even PCOS patients, polycystic ovarian syndrome patients, they think if they just change their diet and eat really low carb, then they'll fix that insulin resistance and then stop the testosterone production and lose weight, and then everything will get fixed. And really it was an underlying hormone problem that you have to address first. So, but you're asking, what do you do for this population that once they start hormone replacement therapy? And I think the reason why we have to worry about that is because they go a long time without hormones and the gut becomes so disrupted. And we need hormones to maintain the mucin lining in the gut, right? So it helps produce this mucin basically that maintains integrity so that you don't get a leaky gut. You don't get stuff going through the pores in the intestine into the bloodstream. So a lot of women that suffer from leaky gut and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and all these problems, they really do need hormone therapy because they're not making estrogen and progesterone to help preserve the gut. Everything's linked together, right? The immune system too is regulated by hormones, and our gut is our main area of defense, initially. What happens is they'll go a long time without hormones. And then women, when they start hormone replacement therapy, the hormones start really activating everything. They stimulate the gallbladder, they stimulate the intestines to start moving. So women that were previously constipated may no longer become constipated anymore. But as the gut becomes adjusted to having hormones again, they can get bloated. And this is less than 10% of clients, but there it can happen. And it's more of this feeling of bloatedness. It's temporary, but sometimes depending upon how bad the gut is, you have to address it. And that's why we recommend supplements to help, because really working on the liver and gallbladder health is important. Women are eating a lot of fiber, for example. They're told to eat fiber to help with the constipation, and they're told to eat. And this can cause more or worsening symptoms of bloating because microbiome is dependent and the diversity is dependent upon what you eat. If you're a large meat eater, you're going to have a different diversity of microbiome than if you eat plants. And this can all change on what you were before you started the hormone replacement therapy. So it is important that women just know if they have bloating. It just takes time, and it takes another 1 or 2 supplements and some work with specialists like myself at InterBalance. We help women through this period. But you're right, it's so intimately connected with gut health and hormones.